Hi everyone, welcome to Verdicts number 9. It's me this time with a special guest. I have with me Warrender. Say hi, Warrender.
Hi, Warrender.
Thanks. I should have figured that's how this episode would go. Unfortunately, Crona and I tried to record this episode on Monday night at our usual time, live on YouTube, and the cast just was lagging really bad, and we had bandwidth issues, and we had to completely scrap it. So if you're tuning in now, or if you catch this later, Warrender is going to be standing in for Crota, or more so, I'm standing in for Crota, and Warrender's here for some colorful commentary. So we're going to just go right into our episode. Verdict number 9. We titled it Guilty of Laziness for no apparent reason. I guess we've just been really busy and haven't been focusing on this too much. We do not have a puzzle this week, and we'll get into why later. But let's just jump right into the puzzle results. And I will kick us off for this because I don't think Warrender follows our puzzles as much as other contents.
You know what, though? I do have, one thing to say right off the bat. It's there's a misspelling on guilty.
Oh my God! Okay, well I'm gonna blame Crota for this since he's not here and he typed up this slide. Yeah, but it's guilty of laziness. So we were too guilty to spell check. Too guilty of laziness to spell check guilty. Anyway, yeah, it's too late to fix that now, so let's just keep going. So we're gonna get into the puzzle results. All right. So, as you may remember if you took a crack at this puzzle or if you listened to our last episode, we set up a board to look like this. Basically, your opponent has 2 Righteous Paladins and 2 Sentinels of Light, and they are attacking. So you need to do 2 things. You need to survive the turn with your blockers, which are 4 Ardent Crusaders, and you need to win on your next turn. So what is your champion and what do you do? So the trick with this puzzle, and we weren't very kind to people listening just via podcast, is if you look at the Righteous Paladin, there's actually a little text on there because I set up the scenario that says when this is dealt damage, gain health equal to the damage dealt. So what that was going to do is it's going to push your health total, the opponent's life total, up over 56, which puts you out of a Gore Feast and Sir Giles range to win off of your 8 Phantoms. So the solution to this actually was prepare for war. So you have 8 Phantoms in play and One-Eyed Open as your champion, and you cast prepare for war on the start of your turn, and all 8 of those Phantoms exhaust and they all get +8/+8. Then you use One-Eye Open's champion power to ready them, and then you can attack with 8 9/9 Phantoms and deal 72 damage. What do you think of that solution, Warrender?
That was pretty fixy there. The thing with the paladins, that's equipment, right? That gives it that
Yeah, I guess it was kind of unfair for us to do that, but that's why we wanted people to get tricked by Gore Feast and think that Gore Feast was the only solution. And unfortunately, a lot of people didn't see it.
Gore Feast and, Soul Battle somehow.
Yeah, that's why Crota was like, oh, let's give him 2 Ruby Threshold and see how much that stumps him. So we only got 2 responses. I don't think Crota listed the winners here, but I think he was sad when I told him Thand won again. So Thand, I think this is your 3rd week in a row that you actually win a prize, and every week it's been a code. Let me see if I can dig up who the other winner was. I want to say it was Vorengard. I can't find you right now, but I think you're the only one that got it right outside of Thand. Let me double check. Yep, it was you. So Vorengard and Thand, you guys both win. If Crota has not already sent you something, he will be. So check your mail or message myself or Crota, and we'll make sure we get you the prize. Okay, so moving right along, let's talk about the Haunted Harvest event. Are you playing any PvE to get these cards warned, or do you just not care?
Actually, I've already finished my PvE tournament.
Oh, nice. So you got the full
It
set.
only took me like almost a minimum amount of runs. The only duplicate I got was like the Cornhuskers.
Oh,
So, you know, I got a playset of Stingy Jacks and Cornhuskers and a Scythe. So, that wasn't too bad.
that's awesome. Yeah, it took me 11 dungeons to get a full set. So a little bit more than you. It took me forever to get the Scarecrow Scythe. What do you think of the Stingy Jack or Stingy Jack card in general, just as a PvE card?
Meh, it's a 7-1. I mean, hey, I know it's got the glove that you know, if you play a card on Harvest, his name gets invincible, but still, I mean, anything can block that.
Yeah, true. I mean, I guess the Harvest in its name is kind of cool because you can play like Harvest Moon. Is that the name of the card? The one that heals you?
Yeah, actually, there's quite a few Harvest cards. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know exactly Harvest, but it's got Harvest in there, like Pale Harvester, Grim Harvester, you know, there's Harvester's Reaper.
Yeah, true. So there are quite a bit of cards that actually combo with it. The Harvest tricks and treats are pretty neat too. One of them kind of reminds me a little bit of the Underworld Crusader.
And there's also Harvest of Sorrow.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, there might be more ways to combo this card. But I think what Crona and I were going to do on Monday before the event started was share a few decks. So if you're not already farming these cards and you want to, and you want some budget options to take into a dungeon, I'm going to get into the two decks we shared. And the first one will be Crota's. Now, I noticed that Crota's deck was very similar to a deck Yasi shared after the Convocation 2016 event that he was farming with. And I think Crota mentioned he was farming this deck in, I think it was Tome of the Rose Knights. It might have been the Usurper dungeon. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure that this deck could handle either one very easily. Basically, he is going for trained troops, he's going for warrior affinity, and he is playing a bunch of real low-cost things. And then he has 25 shards because it's a warrior build. It's a Shinhair warrior, so the 25 shards will just allow him to easily get to 2 by turn 2 and then 3 by turn 3 to usually dump his entire hand by turn 3. He has a lot of low-cost troops, but the faster he gets them all into play and starts swinging with them, the bigger they get because he has like Hunger of the Mountain God in here and the Blood-Soaked Brawler with the Rage 2 boot gloves. So definitely a deck to check out. It's mono blood, but it still has Ethereal Healer with boots, so you might get a few of those in play for free. Anyway, worth checking out. And the only suggestion I made to Crota when we first revealed this and we're talking about it is that, you know, maybe the Hop Hero Samurai is not the perfect fit. You can maybe even try like Blood Aura to push through more damage and also have a combat trick that will heal you a little bit. But otherwise, it's a solid low drop list.
Yeah, I noticed he's got 8 cores there. I always forget that I have 8 cores. I always forget to put them in my PvE decks.
Yeah, you know, sometimes lately I haven't even been using them because I find that I don't need it for certain decks, but they do help you kind of get to those cards you want. So if you do have acorns and you can put them in, I know you're not going to be able to play 4 in a campaign deck, but splash in as many as they allow you to play. Alright, so here's my monster. This is a Dwarf Mage, and you can see on the talents up there I've taken Spell Sprites, Telekinesis, Spry for more health, and then +1 starting hand size. And this is a robot deck, but really what it's all about is transforming cards you own, like troops, into artifacts, because there's this Dwarf Mage ability called Technomorph, and it transforms any troop into a random artifact. So the way we're kind of comboing with that ability is we have the VB1311, and every time a card transforms into an artifact, it gets a permanent +1/+1 health. And then we have Doppelgadget that can transform into any artifact we control at cost 4 or less. And because it creates a replica, it can transform into the unique VB1311 and not destroy it. So we can have it giving our VB1311 and itself +1/+1 every single turn. And then we have more cards that combo with that. Servo Servant, that turns into a battle bot, has equipment that it does it as soon as an artifact enters play. And Construct Guild Underboss that says every time a card you control turns into an artifact, ready that card and you gain a charge. And so because we're getting charges now too, we're also playing the robot reactor bot tech that pumps up our other robots every time we gain a charge. You have any thoughts?
How fast is this stuff?
It's pretty darn fast, and actually it's going to be featured as my final Adventure Zone 1 fully equipped article. I don't think I'll be doing any more Adventure Zone 1 stuff after that, hoping that Adventure Zone 2 will be here soon. Yeah. It's fun too. I would say maybe like 12 minutes to do Chain Goliath, maybe a little less.
Did you say it's Dwarf Mage that you're using this with?
Yeah, Dwarf Mage.
That's the Mage is like the class that I've bought. You know, it's for some reason I don't enjoy playing as much as the other classes.
Yeah, I mean they have less health, so you get punished a little bit more for decks that are slow. But the nice thing about the Dwarf Mage is I think he's the only mage that starts with 1 armor. So you technically have a lot more than 16 health or 14 health when you start because of that armor.
Yeah. I mean, I like I think the class I enjoy the best is Cleric because there's just so much life gain and stuff.
Oh yeah, Cleric are awesome. They're probably the easiest PvE campaign class right now to play. But
I'm thinking a little bit more talent, so maybe be a lot more fearsome.
Yeah, I think so too. So yeah, those are 2 decks to try. I actually posted, and I'll share the link in our episode comments that I shared all of my campaign decks, I think except for 2. On Hex TCG browser, and I posted that on the Gameforge forums. So if you want some other ideas or you just need some inspiration, go ahead and check those out. All right, so moving right along, there was something that our puzzle last week brought on. Crona thought about it, and then he mentioned it to me, is that our last puzzle was solved by Thunderfield Seer, and his prophecy ability that says when this enters play, the next action in your deck gets draw a card. So basically what that enabled the card to do that has this prophecy's effect is that card is fully played and resolves before the draw a card goes through. So if you have it on like a Chronic Madness, you're going to draw a card after Chronic Madness goes back into your deck. So there's a big difference between the way that prophecy works and the way Lanapaw's Sight works, because Lanapaw's Sight says the next action, resource, and troop in your deck gets, when you play this, draw a card. So Lanapaw's Sight actually will draw a card even if that card that's prophesized gets interrupted, whereas if Thunderfield Seer's prophecy effect is on a card and it gets interrupted, you will not still draw a card. Have you had any experience playing with these 2 and how they work differently, Warrender?
Oh yeah, I mean that's something that you get used to, and you know you have to play around or anticipate. You know.
Yeah, pretty popular before set 5 with all the McBombus prophecy decks, right?
I played a McBombus like a lot, like you know before set 5 came out. So yeah, I'm really familiar with these cards.
Yeah, so we thought that'd just be cool to clarify on how those work a little bit differently. And I think Crona and I also were mentioning that one of the reasons why Lanapaw's Sight is different is because it's not just affecting actions. Because it's actually affecting resources and troops, they probably had to word it that way so that the trigger would happen immediately because of how resources enter play.
That makes sense.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna move on. We just thought we'd share this interaction. Crona actually experienced this in I think it was in an Evo game. He said that he attacked with his Mama Yeti. No, actually, he blocked with his War Party Guide in Ayotachi Brute, and his opponent was attacking with the Mama Yeti. And his opponent, after the Mama Yeti was dealt damage by War Party Guide, his opponent used Cleansing Touch to revert Mama Yeti, and then Mama Yeti became a 5/5 again, and all of the damage went through to both troops, and it cleared that 2 damage from the War Party Guide, so the Mama Yeti survived. So it's just a really neat interaction that, you know, if you're in the attack phase and one of the cards that's blocking you has Swift Strike, that Swift Strike damage can be negated if you use a quick action revert in between that damage and the actual damage. So just something to be mindful of if you're playing. It's more than likely going to happen in a limited setting more so than a constructed setting, but it's a cool little reason to maybe more highly value reversion.
Now, I wonder if that works with the what's that troop that can revert the 1 cost?
1 cost reversion?
Troop?
Oh, no, it doesn't, because that's a basic ability. I know who you're talking about, yeah. However, I think there is a 2 cost Spirit Hound or something that has quick speed reversion, so you could do that. There are other cards in the game that sit on the table that have quick speed reversion that I'm aware of. I believe the Spirit Hound is one of them. Anyway, we could look that up later. But yeah, so just consider reversion a little bit more when you play. It's not always like a 10 out of 10 card. It's usually going to be like a 2 out of 10 or 3 out of 10, but it's a nice combat trick to have. In fact, you know what happened to me last night? And now I'm getting a little upset thinking about Cleansing Touch. I was playing like the most awesome assault deck. Well, I thought it was awesome at least. And I had a Zanya's Blood Fist or something. Anyway, I got the Zanya's Blood Fist up to 15 rage in my hand. And it says like it's a 1/4 with Crush and Speed, and it gets rage 1 for every assault trigger. So every time you attack. So I got it up to 15, and my opponent had 1 card left in his hand and only 4 resources open. So I was like so excited, and like knew it wasn't going to be a Crackling Blast. I knew it wasn't because he was playing Blood Diamond. I knew it wasn't going to be that 6 cost instant destroy. So I only needed to get through with that and 2 of the troops on my board, and he had 1 blocker. And I knew that I would win, so I attacked, and lo and behold, he plays Cleansing Touch. Reverts my Zanya's to a 1/4, and I lose the game on the backswing. I was so upset. Anyway, long story, sad times.
Cleansing Touch.
I know, so sometimes it's a great card. So, there's 2 more things I wanted to talk about. We're going pretty quick. The episode's only been, 19 minutes or so far. But we wanted to talk a little bit about the Hex Economy. There was a post on Reddit, I think it was by Greg Angel, just asking, like, you know, how are these people offering these packs for $1 each? You know, if you buy plat for, you know, $1 equals 100 plat, and then you buy packs either from the store or if you buy them from the AH, you're still paying really close to 200 plat for a pack. So how in the world are people offering packs for $1? Now, I mean, there's a lot of ways to answer this. Like, maybe the price for plat in Euro is less than the price for plat in US, but that's not really what's happening here. I think what's happening more so are people that are really good at trading in the game are able to make a lot of micro transactions and trades with players, and then also mostly on the AH, they might be trading packs for gold, and then using that gold to buy platinum, because right now you can get a lot, well, sometimes you can get a lot of gold for a pack, and it's actually worth more than 200 plat after conversion, depending on how you convert it. You can either convert it by buying cards that are sold cheap for gold on the auction house and then reselling those cards for more plat. So people that are very good at manipulating price differences on the AH are able to make large profits, and then the only way that they can take that plat back out of the system is to convert that plat into some sort of asset in the game that's heavily desired, and there's nothing more heavily desired than the current set's limited packs to play limited with. What are your thoughts on that, Warrender?
It could be. I mean, it could be a lot of different reasons as well. I mean, it doesn't have to be just the one reason. It could be like, different people have different reasons for offering us, all these packs for $1. Who knows? Maybe somebody's just buying like a lot of packs for primal procs, and they just want to, sell it back and then do it again. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point, but do you think people would be buying, like, say someone spent $200 equivalent in platinum to buy 100 packs, and they proc 1 or 2 primals? They can't sustain that if they're selling the packs back for $1.
They're also not gonna, try to sell like 100 packs, in the auction house, like for the going rate, But how long is that gonna take?
Yeah, no, that's a good point too. I mean, I just don't think people are going into, the Hex store and then being like, okay, I'm going to buy $200 worth of plat right now, and then I'm going to take that plat and buy $200 worth of packs and sell them for $100. That just seems like a losing.
I can't see that, but
Yeah.
That could happen though. I mean, it might not be everybody, but
Yeah,
it
true.
could be, 1 or 2 individuals, or it could be somebody who just wins a lot of packs and he just wants to liquidate it.
Yeah, that's the other thing. There are people that do win a lot of packs, and some of those people win them in the free tournaments. Some people.
They just can't be bothered to sit around waiting for auctions to, so they'll sell a whole bunch for real cheap. Who knows?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so that's happening. I'm sure there are some people too that are trying to consolidate their account. Like maybe they just had too much stuff, so they're trying to get rid of some of the excess they had, or maybe they're even trying to liquidate everything and no longer play Hex. But whatever the reason, you can find people legitimately selling packs for $1. So I guess that leads me to the next question is, what's the best way for you to collect? And, I know you and I have been trading a lot lately, but because you mainly play constructed, what do you do and how do you validate the way you collect in Hex?
Well, I don't think like the way I collect in Hex is going to work for everybody, but it's something that I've developed from like playing like other TCGs like Magic the Gathering, where I value I value cards a certain amount, and I try to find the best deals I can, and I know that if I want to if I want to play with a a play set of cards now, I'm going to have to pay money for it. Most people are fine just trying to get their play sets through limited, but I find that's that takes a while to do, and that's a lot of time as well. So I just try to find I try to find deals, and usually I could find it like from guildies that offer good deals on cards, and then I just pay PayPal, and get the cards I need through that.
Yeah, so that's a good method. I mean, for me, because I invested in the Kickstarter, I've been able to, for the most part, just collect through trading and playing a lot of the game, getting things in chest after playing PvE and rolling them. That has allowed me to kind of sustain. But I do put some money into the game too. Like I'll pay for VIP. Early on, I bought some plat that's helped me kind of get started. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of ways to do that. As Warrender suggested, joining some sort of community that is more trusted and trusts you, and then gives those players avenues to sell cards in a more trusted atmosphere is another good way to go. So you don't necessarily have to join a guild, but if you're active in the community or if you know people that you trade with, that's a good way to go. And if you're not active and you don't know who to trade with, try to find someone that is trusted and use them as a middleman, just so you don't get burned on either end of the equation. So that's pretty much it for us with the Verdicts 9. Unfortunately, we don't have Crona with us, but Warrender was kind enough to fill in, and Warrender was the creator of our Verdicts name, so thank him for that. No puzzle this week because, we only got 2 correct answers last week. So we're worried that either was the puzzle too hard for you, or are you just getting bored with it? Do you want something more challenging? Or are you looking for other content? Let us know. Send an email to me at nicosharp@gmail.com. You can leave a note on the Gameforge forums when I post the episode, or you can submit feedback through iTunes Podcast if you want. Also, shout out to Zubrin. I didn't want to forget this, for giving us some nice feedback on iTunes. And I hope you guys are enjoying the episodes. We're going to keep coming at you every week. Even if Crota's gone, I'll try to make it happen. If I'm gone, we'll try to set something up as well. So keep looking for our content. And I heard word that we may get to spoil some more PvE stuff. So we might be the podcast of choice for PvE spoils. So keep us tuned for that. You have any last words, Warrender?
No, but I'm looking forward to the PvE spoil, though.
Yeah. So I don't know anything about it, actually. Crona mentioned that he might find out more, but he might be the go-to guy. So until...
Maybe it's got something to do with mercenaries. That's what I would...
yeah, maybe. I'm hoping I get to spoil some of that stuff too. We'll see. I know there's a lot of things lined up in the pipeline, and I think that's one of the reasons why my article was delayed a week. But they got a lot going on there, so more to come. All right, guys, have a good one. We'll catch you next week.
See ya.